The other night, Emily Maitlis did this.
Dominic Cummings broke the rules. The country can see that, and it shocked the government cannot. He should understand that public mood now, one of fury, contempt and anguish. He made those who struggle to keep to the rules feel like fools and has allowed many more to assume they can now flout them.
The opening monologue exploded on the internet, racking up millions of views. Far more than actually watching Newsnight itself. It prompted gushing praise and raging criticism in equal measure, and an apology from the BBC, which said, "We believe the Newsnight introduction we broadcast did not meet our due standards of impartiality." And then, last night, Maitlis was nowhere to be seen, despite signing off her last programme like this.
That is it from us tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow.
Instead, it was Katie Razzle, another great journalist, presenting the show.
A few of them are covering a story about Newsnight relating to coronavirus and Dominic Cummings, but The Times as well has a story, Do Your Duty, We Can Defeat the Virus.
Even though the timeline of these events seems a bit suspect, there's a simple explanation. Emily Maitlis asked for the night off. But we're going to look at her monologue. Was it an egregious breach of the BBC's editorial standards, or a simple, damning reporting of the facts? The first thing you have to understand is that TV news is regulated by Ofcom, no matter which channel it's on. It has to be seen to be accurate and impartial. OK, let's go, line by line.
Good evening.
Good so far?
Dominic Cummings broke the rules.
That's correct. No matter what verbal gymnastics you may have heard from Boris Johnson or any other government minister, Dominic Cummings broke the lockdown. At the beginning of all this, the Prime Minister wrote to every household in the country. And he said, "I have one very simple instruction. You must stay at home." Did Dominic Cummings follow that instruction to the letter or in spirit? No, he did not.
The country can see that, and it shocked the government cannot.
Polling supports this statement. After Dominic Cummings' press conference, a snap poll by YouGov found that 59% of the British public thought he should resign. And in the days since, the Conservative Party's poll lead over Labour has dropped from 15 points to 6 points in less than a week.
The longer ministers and Prime Minister tell us he worked within them, the more angry the response to this scandal is likely to be.
I mean, yeah, that's reasonable to assume on the evidence so far, but it is speculation.
He was the man, remember, who always got the public mood, who tagged the lazy label of elite on those who disagreed. He should understand that public mood now.
A key word here is lazy. This adjective and others to come amount to what journalists call editorialisation, meaning mixing opinion with objective fact. Yes, he did label people as elites. Was that lazy? That's subjective.
One of fury, contempt and anguish. He made those who struggle to keep to the rules feel like fools.
Hard on the paint from Maitlis, which I love and on a personal level absolutely agree with, but perhaps getting too close to polemic.
And has allowed many more to assume they can now flout them. The Prime Minister knows all this, but despite the resignation of one minister...
That was Douglas Ross. He did resign.
...growing unease from his backbenchers...
By my count, 61 of them have publicly disagreed with the decision to drive to Durham.
A dramatic early warning from the polls...
which we've already covered.
And a deep national disquiet. Boris Johnson has chosen to ignore it. Tonight we consider what this blind loyalty tells us about the workings of Number 10. We do not expect to be joined by a government minister, but that won't stop us asking the questions.
Blind loyalty. It's the adjective here that could find against Maitlis, although it is hard to label the government response as anything other than that. Newsnight has struggled to get government ministers on all year. They are frustrated, and that's becoming clear in these wonderful pieces from Emily Maitlis. But we wouldn't want Andrew Neil unleashing his fury in the same way now, would we?
Michael, keep the knives away from me. Gove thinks Boris Johnson leaked to the Daily Mail that he didn't know how to stack a dishwasher. Nobody has the heart to tell the Govester that it was his wife. As for Boris, you haven't seen much of him because his new girlfriend has locked him in the dishwasher for the duration, thinking that's his best chance of winning. Meanwhile, the Maybot continues to function. Recently, she said it had been a mistake to abolish student grants, and she wanted to bring them back. Ah, if only she had been Prime Minister.